It's a tragedy to see women in the prime of their life. 80% of scleroderma victims are women in the childbearing years. And many of them are just way too scared or way too sick because of the way they look to step forward and speak out. I want to help those people.
In 2002, Sharon Monsky lost her 20-year battle with scleroderma.
One of the last things she did before she left us was to put together an amazing board, and I'm very proud to be one of those board members. It's with all the work of all of these people and all of their connections with science and medicine and philanthropy that we can help find a cure for scleroderma.
There are probably as many as 300,000 scleroderma patients across the country, obviously many of them undiagnosed or inappropriately diagnosed today.
It's a very prevalent disease, and it's certainly, everything we know, as prevalent as far more better known diseases like muscular dystrophy and multiple sclerosis.
And it's such a strange disease that you don't always know when people have the disease. Some people are disfigured, some people aren't.
We need to let those patients know that we're here and we're working for them and we're raising the funds for them and we're doing everything we can to do exactly what Sharon wanted us to do, which was to close down this foundation because we found a cure.
There's no cure at this time, and that's why we're spending a lot of money looking for that cure.
You know, the people we do business with are real and honest and, you know, emotional, and I feel like this board is made up of people all who feel that way.
And I believe that in the next few years we have a tremendous opportunity in scleroderma research, as well as many challenges. And the opportunity exists over the next few years to really accelerate our understanding of the disease and the treatments that we need to fight the disease.
I always love that statement of Sharon's, you know, we're in business to go out of business. I think we will. I think we will.
Scleroderma is a degenerative disease where the whole body is falling apart, and until recently we had no clue as to what was causing that degeneration. That was in fact the challenge facing the Scleroderma Research Foundation, to motivate scientists to study a disease where they hardly had a clue where to begin. But it's worked. At a recent meeting of the Scleroderma Research Foundation, we discovered that it's very likely that the cause of the disease is a defect in a type of blood vessel, which either triggers or is triggered by an autoimmune response.
We're funding work in several leading academic institutions across the country: Duke, Ohio State, Stanford, and UCSF. And Johns Hopkins, which has a leading scleroderma center.
We've taken the approach of setting up a center of excellence so that we are going to do more than you would if you go see your local doctor. I don't know if it's even fair to think that the local doctor could do what we can as a center where we see nothing but the disease. I've had patients over and over again come in and say, the doctor told me that I was going to die, that there was nothing they could do for me.
I'm sure he wanted to be nice about the whole thing, but he called me up and he said, you know, what I would recommend for you and your husband is that you do everything you can in the next 2 years, because after that you won't be able to.
We went back into his office and talked, and as he was going around his desk, he said, well, I give you 2 to 5 years to live. And I was like, wait a minute, you know, I know you didn't just tell me as though you canceled lunch. I have 2 to 5 years to live.
It seems to hit people when they're right at that point where, you know, my kids are getting older. I was like, okay, I have this great job, I'm making really good money, had this beautiful house, I lost everything.
You know, I've always been able to do whatever I wanted to do, and then to have that taken away from you is a dramatic difference in shock.
I just have to take it day by day and just try to be thankful for what I have.
In fact, I woke up one morning and I thought I had a bad case of the flu. And I was waiting for it to go away. At that point in time, I was still teaching school. And my hands and feet were so swollen, and my feet, I only could wear tennis shoes to school, and I couldn't even tie those.
The part that I have, they call systemic, mine went to the organs of which is my lungs. It stiffened the blood vessels in my lungs, where the blood leading from the pulmonary artery can't get down through the lungs as quickly as it should be, so it builds up pressure.
Yeah, that's what my hands, it progressed really fast. My fingers started to curl really fast after I was diagnosed.
I think at the very, very beginning, I felt maybe a little sorry for myself because I got very stiff. Everything got stiff, couldn't move. I didn't have stamina.
If they recognize it, I'm surprised. Because a lot of people say, are you burned or something like that.
We've had fingertips off, we had toes removed. We just got a pacemaker a couple weeks ago. That was my Thanksgiving present.
You know, it's nothing that we could do about it except, like Dr. Wiggly said, it's a lifetime thing.
It affects you mentally, emotionally, physically. It affects my relationships with other people, my relationships with my fiance, because you start to have that body image issue where you don't want anybody to touch you or to look at you. And then you go through the phase where you're just like showing everybody because nobody has any idea. Like you say the word scleroderma and they're like, what?
Mine also started the vanity factor in my face. See, I don't look anything like I used to look because this is all scar here. So those were that, and now, you know, it's in the mouth and, you know, obviously in the hands. And I used to, I don't want to cry over this, but I'm a harpist, and I'll never play again because, you know, you can't play. You know, your hands don't work. So I can still, you know, teach, but I can't perform again. So that was a big blow, but now I just want to stay alive.
Externally, I'm okay. Internally, I hate this. God, I hate this. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
You just can't put into words what it does. And being young, and it's I've got the rest of my life ahead of me, and I don't know what any of it's going to be like. I don't know if I'll be able to have kids and be a normal mother. You know, am I going to be able to pick my 2-year-old up and throw him up in the air? Will I be able to catch him? Will I be able to do any of it?
I just can't do anything. I can't walk from one end of the mall to the other end without sitting down. And my kids, you know, they've had to learn to live with that. I mean, a mother shouldn't be like that. And the worst part is not knowing if I'll see my kids graduate from high school. Not knowing if I'll help my daughter get ready for the prom. And that's the worst part. Not knowing if I'll see my grandkids. And that's the worst part.
One of my patients, who was a businessman in Citibank, and he's not with us now. But he taught me that you have to give the patient control of their life when they're sick with this disease. You have to give them their input. So you can't go to the patient and say, look, you do this or else when you don't have a cure. You have to go and work together as a team. You have to love your patients in order to make an impact on them.